How you's doing? Ladies and gentlemen, I am Chad with CD Shaving. Thank you very much for joining me for tonight's shaving video. Got an interesting one for you tonight. I know it's been a little while since I've done a video. I've been busy, had some things going on, and I think you're looking at this saying, "What in the hell is that?" Well, I got a special piece of gear coming to me, so I figured I'd let this grow in a little bit, and we'll see what's going on there with that. But that's for another video, another time. Let's talk about today's topic on the video. Today's topic came from one of the viewers, actually. They gave me a good suggestion on a video that they'd like to see, and I thought it was actually a pretty good idea. You know, I've seen all over forums people say, what's your favorite shaving gear? What's the type of stuff that you like to shave with the most? What couldn't you live without? Well, that works out great because people sit there and they think to themselves, well, what do I have to choose from? What would I like to have for the rest of my life if I could only pick this or that? So what people don't ever think about is what would they grab if they absolutely had to grab without thinking as far as their shaving gear is concerned. In an essence, what would your shaving gear bug out bag be like? Now, everybody's heard of bug out bags. It's kind of a mainstream term. People have these bags that they put together. They got all kinds of stuff on them, maybe a survival knife and some flint and steel, maybe a carabiner, ways to light fires, maybe some food, rations, things like that, a map, flashlight, all kinds of things that they could bug out with. They might have to leave their residence with during an emergency or a apocalyptic event, and they're going to take their bug out bag with them and bug out. So then the question that was posed to me is, what would you put in a shaving bug out bag? Now, obviously this is just in fun, because if you have a real life emergency in your home, I would certainly hope you're not going to reach for any shaving gear, that you would grab your loved ones. And I can tell you something right now, if there's an emergency in your home and your wife or significant other catches you grabbing shaving gear on the way out, you're going to wish you were back in the middle of that emergency by the time your safety's upon you. So I said to myself, what are we going to do and how are we going to do this? And we'll get right into that. But before we do, let's talk about the holiday of the day. Today's holiday of the day is National Poetry Day. Love poetry. Poetry is a great way to attract a female if you're looking to do so. It's a great way to express how you're feeling about a particular subject matter. It's also just a great way to relieve stress. Whether you're good at it or not, you sit down and write it out. It's a fun thing to do, and I actually do it quite often. Not very well, but I do it quite often. So having said that, National Poetry Day, the first thing that came to mind when I saw that, it once was a man from Nantucket. That's all I'm going to say. I will leave that there. You guys want to finish that in the comments? That's up to you, but we'll leave it right where that is. All right. So, bug out shaving. What I did was I hit 20 seconds on my microwave timer. Without even thinking about it, I gave myself 20 seconds to run in the bathroom, grab the gear that I could grab if I had to leave for an undetermined amount of time, and I needed shaving gear. What would I grab? This was not about what my favorite was. This is about instinctively what would I take. So we're going to go over the gear, and then we're going to shave with it. We're going to do a head shave. So as far as the first thing I grabbed was the razor. I grabbed the Mule R41. What went through my head in these 20 seconds about why I grabbed this was it seems to be a universal shaver for me. This is a go-to. I can do both my head and my face with this. Whereas some of the other razors I really prefer to just do my head or face with. This is a great shaver that I can do either one with, and I've had really successful shaves doing both. So I figured this would cover both methods. Now, what's a razor without blades? I went up and I grabbed a pack of these Feather Seamless, and the reason I grabbed these was because this is generally for me after the first or second shave. I get consistent great shaves with these. I do prefer some of my other blades for different situations, but generally speaking, Feather works well for me. Even if I do shave and I get maybe not that much growth on there and I shave with it anyway, and it might get a little irritation, but at the very least, it does the job. So I grabbed a synthetic brush. This happened to be on the shelf. It was the first one there. This is what I grabbed. I didn't grab it because it was a game changer. Not. I grabbed it because it was synthetic. My thought was synthetic will work regardless of the water conditions. I don't have to spend any time really soaking this because it will work whether I soak it or not. Next thing I grabbed was a shaving cream for two reasons. What went through my head was I wanted a cream, not a soap. Cream because it'll work regardless of the water. This will work. As you can see, I got Taylor of Old Bond Street Sandalwood. I grabbed it because it was right here. It was the first cream I could get my hands on. This stuff will work regardless of your water situation. You have hard water or soft water. I've found that this stuff works in either or. Smells great, has a really good scent to it. The thing about this is you could probably get away with shaving with this and with this without any water. It's not something I would recommend doing, but I bet you could get away with it because it is a cream. So, you know, you probably may not get the greatest shave, but you probably get away with it. So I went and grabbed witch hazel. This is also something that came to mind because witch hazel has other uses other than just for shaving, so I thought this would be a great thing to grab, and it was right there first on the shelf. And I grabbed a shaving balm as well. Nivea for men. I grabbed this because, again, this is universal to me. This stuff has a nice scent to it, but it doesn't last on you. It doesn't stay on you, so you can pretty much use this stuff with whatever you happen to shave with. I thought to myself, within these 20 seconds, if I didn't have any water, I might be able to throw a layer of this on and then this, and I could get away with a shave like that. Now, I also grabbed Sterling's Sharp Dressed Man. I grabbed an aftershave, alcohol-based. My thought was alcohol had antiseptic properties. You know, it would just serve maybe other purposes as opposed to grabbing an aftershave that had witch hazel in it because I already grabbed the witch hazel. And this was up front, and it was the fullest one out of all the ones I happened to have, which is why I grabbed it, because the theory was I didn't know how long I'd be gone for, so well, now I have as much as I could possibly grab within 20 seconds. So I didn't grab any of this because I thought it went together, or I thought they complemented each other, or the brand. I grabbed strictly for functionality, and I thought within the time limit that I had, that's what went through my head, and that's why I grabbed the gear that I went with. So I have no idea if these two match. You know, I don't. Speaking of that, let's crack this open here. And we'll crack this open. And we'll kind of... It's not a bad combination, actually. It smells pretty good. But we'll find that out later on in the shave. This will actually be a good test of this because this stuff tends to stay on you. Actually, it's got a really heavy scent to it. Some people like it. Some people hate it. Some people don't like the fact that it's got a synthetic scent to it. I think it smells really, really good. And if you've seen my video, it works pretty good for nasal spray as well. Check out the video. Anyway, all right. Let's get this shave going, shall we? We get our sink full of water here. We're going to throw the razor. I actually, you know, I happen to already have a feather blade in this loaded, ready to go. So we're just going to go ahead and use that as opposed to putting a fresh one in here. I think this has 2 uses on it, maybe 3. I'd have to check, but either way, this will be good for a head shave. So we'll go ahead and throw that in the water. We got our shaving towel ready to go, which incidentally, I did grab this also off the rack when I went out to the table and put everything down that I had. You know, I had kind of an armful here, and I just let it down on the table. Said, okay, what do I have? And this is what I had. What I probably should have grabbed, and I didn't think to, because again, it was time, and it was just something I ran in to do, was an alum block. You know, these might serve other purposes. I don't know a whole lot of life hacks you can use with an alum block other than shaving purposes. Deodorant. You can use it for that as well. Douglas Smythe does a really good couple of videos on this, on uses of this stuff, and the deodorant actually with this. So check it out if you get a chance. All right, so let's throw some water on our head here. We're going to soak the shaving brush. Squeeze out some of the water here. Give it a couple of dabs. That's plenty. That's really plenty on that. So cover that up so we don't get water in it accidentally. Got Because when I shave, I throw water everywhere. So, all right. A little bit more water on there. Let's lather. I hope everybody's doing well tonight. On this poetry evening. Taylorville Bond Street, man. This stuff smells really, really good. I don't have any of the others. I heard German Street's pretty nice. But I really like the sandalwood, and I'm not a huge sandalwood person, but when I do use it, I like to use Taylorville Bond Street. I don't always use sandalwood, but when I do, I choose Taylorville Bond Street. All right, so anyway, we are ready to go. Actually, let's throw a couple more. Make sure we're covered here because I can't see the back of my head. Against the grain, or I'm sorry, with the grain, excuse me. There we go. I've been looking forward to doing this video for a while. Thought it was a really good suggestion. And it's different, you know. People think of bug out bags, they think of survival tools, as you should. But a survival bug out bag for shaving, that's just a fun concept. Now remember, just like with face shaves, when you do your head shaves, you really want to make sure you pull the skin. Make sure that skin is tight. Really pull the skin on your head. Keep it nice and taut, because you want your head skin to always be taut. Again, that's as far as I'm going to go with that one. Might be the whole full moon thing tonight, you know. We had some interesting events at work today that would negate the full moon is in effect. All right. Now we're about halfway through our first pass here. Again, I apologize for the lack of videos. I've got a whole bunch of them coming down the pike, so you guys got to really stay tuned. I got a bunch of new gear that I've been waiting to be able to grab, or at least it's new to me. It's not necessarily new to the market, but it's new to me, and I like to review stuff, even some of the older stuff that people, you know, that's been out for 2-3 years, and some people I review it because either it's new to me or because I think some people might want my take on it, or I want to tell people my take on it, whether you want to hear it or not. So, because there have been a few things that I've reviewed that have been okay, but for whatever reason, they've been on the market for a long time, longer than I've been in wet shaving, and everybody raves about whatever it is, whether it's a razor, a blade, a cream, or soap, and I do a review on it, and I think to myself, this sucks. But, mileage may vary, as they say, that's one thing I like that about this hobby is everybody's different. You could get something that works great for 100 people, and you'll have that one person that'll try it, and they'll say, well, geez, that gave me a lot of irritation, or I really broke out with that pre-shave, or I don't really like the way that blade, so I like everybody's opinions on it. What I don't like is the disrespect. I've seen a few of that. Somebody has a difference in opinion or maybe a less than popular opinion, and everyone, well, you're crazy, or you know what, nobody does it that way. So what? You don't like the way that I do my stuff, or with the way that I apply my different things? Tough. So, all right. Actually going to fill up this sink with a little bit more water. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. We're going to continue the shave here. Remember to pull the skin. There's nothing like pulling your skin. You got to pull your own skin, especially if no one's going to pull your skin for you. I know I said I'd leave it alone, but I couldn't resist. So I'm curious. From doing this video, obviously I'm going to want to know what's everybody's bug out gear. Do that. Now, here's the problem with this. A lot of people say, well, I think I would do this. Or, you know, I've asked a few people, you know, well, I would do that. I would, no. Don't think. Just do it. Throw the timer down. Look at your watch. I don't give a shit. Throw a salt shaker or whatever the hell it is, a timer upside down. Just do it and see what you come up with. Don't worry about it matching or not matching. Maybe you don't even grab a piece of equipment. Maybe you shave. Maybe you get out there and you oh geez, I grabbed everything but aftershave. Now obviously if you forget a razor, you're not really going to be shaving without the razor. Unless you want to try Nair or Magic Shave. Good luck to you on that one. But, you know, if you say to yourself, well, I didn't grab any aftershave, try shaving without it, just for fun. See what it does. You know, maybe if it causes you irritation, okay, well, you know, it sucks, but it's just part of the, just doing something different. You know, and I know that every once in a while, I will, especially if it's hot outside, for some reason that has an effect on me. If it's really, really humid, actually, I won't throw on aftershave after my shaves. I'll just throw on a shit ton of balm, and I will, and I'll call it good. All right. Next. Pass number 3. And those of you that watch my videos, thank you, by the way. You guys know this is the second cross grain. And those of you, throwing lather here everywhere, those of you that have said to me or asked me about the passes, I could never do another pass or 3 passes, 4 or even 5 like you do. That's cool. I've had a few people PM me and say, why would you do that? Doesn't that give you irritation? No. If it did, I wouldn't do it. And then I get, you're out of your mind for doing it that way, or that's a waste if, you know, on product if you do it this way or that way. And you know what? My response to that is, when somebody says, it's one thing to question it, to ask me, you know, why I do something the way that I do it. And I explain, this is why I do it. But when I get told, you shouldn't do this, or when you do this, you're doing that to your skin. Really? Really? Guess I forgot to ask permission from you before I decided to shave a certain way. So there's been a few PMs where my response was, thanks for your input. Now go to hell. And nothing else. Because I'm not here to be told what to do unless I ask. I'm not here to tell others what to do. I'm here to offer advice and instruction. Take it or leave it. Or take it and modify it. So that's another thing. Some people, I've talked to some people that I know that wet shave, and they say, well, I watched a video from such and such guy, and he suggested to do it this way. So I tried it, and it didn't work, so fuck that. And I say, well, wait a second. He suggested to try it this way, and it didn't work for you. Well, before you give up on it, change it up a little bit. You know, if somebody tells you to do a certain number of passes and you do all those passes and you get a shit ton of irritation, oh, well, they don't know what they're talking about, or, oh, fuck that noise, I'm not doing that anymore, I'm going to stick to one pass. Well, hang on a second. You know, maybe a 5-pass shave isn't for you. Try it with 4 first before you say, fuck that noise. Because, again, these techniques and different things that are given to us by other people, artisans, or just wet shavers, or you know, a combo, it's all meant to be trial and error, played around with, varied. It's meant to be that way. I hear a lot of people say, you know, who's good for that actually is Jason Rudman. He's good for saying, in my opinion, or for me this, or I hear him say, I didn't notice, I didn't experience. It's all about I. He never says you're going to want to, unless he's trying to, you know, push a site. Oh, you're going to want to check them out type of thing. That's a little different. But he doesn't, he never says you should do this or you should do that, especially when it comes to shaving techniques. It's always, for me, I, which is how it should be. He's telling you what works for him. And that is how you should take it. And that's exactly what I'm doing. This stuff that I'm doing, the techniques that I do, in the you know, how I apply the products that I apply. Some people think I don't put enough on. Some people think I put too much. Some people don't, you know, they question the order that I put it on. It's all about personal preference, you know, and what you think, or it seems to work for you. So don't be afraid to not only not, you know, or don't be afraid to try different things, but don't be afraid to change things up to come up with something better, you know, for you. And then, you know what? Tell people about it. That's the thing too, is, you know, if you find a method that works for you and it's unorthodox, tell people, man. Share it. And do it anonymously if you want to. Because there might be other people out there that are in your shoes that are going, damn, I never thought to do that. You know, I'm not going to say anything. You know, maybe I'm too shy to speak publicly, but I'm reading this article, you know, and I'm gonna try that. So, you know, there are a lot of people out there I've seen that say, you know, someone will say, well, this is what I do. You know, I apply this and then I apply that, or I shave with this and this is how I shave. And then some people put on there, they say, when you're doing that, you're removing skin, or you're being, you know, you're pushing too hard. Well, maybe they're pushing too hard for what you want, But for them, it's just fine. So, you know, don't let people tell you what to do. And don't be shy about telling people what works for you. There's so many different things out there. I can almost promise you 20 years from now, I won't be wet shaving the same way I'm doing it now. There's going to be something different. Whether it's a product, maybe there's a newfangled razor out there that I'm going to be using. I may use some of the same stuff. There's always new stuff, new techniques, new ways of coming out. Who knows? Maybe I'll be shaving while hanging upside down in my bathroom. I don't know. Nah, I probably won't be doing that. But I can pretty much guarantee you I won't be doing that. But anyway, my point being is you never know what's going to come out. New techniques and new stuff. And these techniques and new things, they come out because they're made public. Because people speak up and they say, hey, I know nobody does it this way, but it works for me. Try it if you want to. And some people may sit up there and be like, no, I'm not doing that. That's stupid. And then they'll go to their bath and then I'm going to try that out right now. All right. All right. We are going to... Ooh, yeah, this video is getting long. In the interest of brevity here, we're going to go ahead and do a cleanup pass and get this cleaned up here. And then we're going to go into the post-shave with the rest of these products on camera. So, again, folks, thank you very much for joining me. We'll be right back. Okay, folks, we are back. And while we're doing a cleanup here, we're going to get right into the post-shave routine. We're going to start. I did a cold water rinse. We're going to start on the... Oh, and I did a cleanup pass, by the way. Throw some of this witch hazel on here. Rose Petal. We'll throw it on the face because I want to. You don't like it? Don't do it. All right. We'll let that soak in for a second here. Take the brush, shake it out a little bit. There, I don't dry this completely. Just the tips. Good with that. And we'll go ahead and Nivea. Whoa. That's a little much. This stuff is nice. I like the cooling action it has on it. All right. Let that soak in, because as you guys know, I always do my aftershave after the balm. Why? That's how I do it. While we're doing that, we'll clean up the razor a little bit. Actually, we'll clean up the razor all the way. Handle. As Mr. Caton said, a little anal when it comes to my razors. I rinse everything off after every shave. If I don't have time to put it back together afterwards, I lay it out on the soap dish all apart and let it air dry. But I usually clean, dry everything, all the pieces. It's not super dry, it's still a little moist. Blade, I've rinsed it off. I don't wipe the blade, but I do dab it. Dab the first top, or the top layer, dab the second. It's just to get the cream and hairs and crap off. It's pretty clean there. So, and then yes, I also put the blade back in. I do not tighten it down. I leave it pretty loose. See how loose that is? That thing freely spins like that. That's how I leave it to dry up on the shelf there. So All right, now that's pretty soaked in. Aftershave. Still got that combination of the sandalwood smell. So we're going to see how this Sharp Dressed Man works with that. Oh yeah. Well, that's nice. Yeah, I like that. When I sit here and I can smell all three. I can pick up the Nivea, the Sharp Dressed Man, and the Taylor of Old Bond Street there, and the sandalwood. It's a nice combination. I like it a lot, actually. Not bad for not even thinking. So, all right, let's go over the gear a little backwards. We finished off with the Sharp Dressed Man by Sterling Aftershave. We bombed it with Nivea for Men, post-sensitive, post-shave, Witch Hazel, Thayer's Rose Petal. We used the Taylor of Old Bond Street Sandalwood Shave Cream. With the, this happens to be a synthetic Game Changer knot set in a Whip Dog handle. And for the blades, we used Feather, the high stainless that we put in our Mule R41 open comb. So that is the shave of the night. It is a head shave, as you folks could see. And that's our, what we're going to call our bug out shaving. So guys, take 20 seconds, run in your bathroom, grab the gear that you think of off the top of your head. Within 20 seconds, you don't necessarily have to shave with it. But let me know what you came up with. So, all right, folks. Happy Poetry Day. Thank you very much for joining me for my shave and listening to any advice that I might have. Take it or leave it, but I'm glad you listened to it. So if you guys liked the video, give it a thumbs up. As always, get that ticker going. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. But make sure you knock the bell. That way, you guys get a notification every time we do a new video here at CD Shaving, which we're going to be doing a lot of over the next couple of weeks. So you guys hang on to your hats and get ready. We got a lot of products to review, a lot of things to go over. It's going to be a great couple of weeks. And we're also going to throw in a few live videos there as well. So, folks, again, I am Chad with CD Shaving. Thank you very much for joining me, and we'll see you guys in the next video.